Could you use an eel?
Hey, BC, have you seen my...
Nope.
Ugh, here we are. I mean, why does this exist? I mean, wasn't one bad enough? No, they felt the need to make 2 specials. Come on, people, where are the standards? Isn't it bad enough that Wrestlelicious exists?
I'm Candy Kisses, pop superstar. Got the coolest clothes and the fastest cars. I always get applause, never boos or hisses, cause Candy Kisses is Wrestlelicious.
To be fair, though, this special is actually better than the Thanksgiving one. Don't get me wrong, it's still a big POS, but at least it's Christmas themed. If you're not familiar with BC the comic, see my last video, because the fuck if I'm going over it again. I mean, honestly, let's just get into it so I can wash my hands of this BC shit. BC the Christmas special was released in 1981. That's almost 10 years after the first one. Whereas the last special did almost nothing right, this one did a better job of actually being a holiday special. Unlike its predecessor, who took 11 minutes to introduce a fucking turkey, and then not mention being thankful until about the 20-minute mark.
Rock soup. Let's see. There's only one way to flavor rock soup, and that's with a dead turkey.
Okay, nobody digs in till we give thanks.
And it's also with great sadness to say that we lose one of the worst aspects of the last special, the smooth jazz. Instead, we get new music that resembles funk, new wave, smooth jazz. I don't know, take your pick. The special starts with 2 ants talking in a mini Stonehenge about the winter solstice.
Just as I thought. 2.5 degrees off.
A caveman we presume to be BC walks up and says he needs to find the calendar. But let's be honest, that's not BC, that's Thor.
Better check the calendar.
Yeah, that's right. Start your special with a character that had barely 2 minutes of screen time in the last special. You know, we're always really negative. Let's be positive for a change and give credit where credit is due. One of the biggest problems of the previous special was the character intros. Remember, this is how they did it? In this special, they learned from their previous mistakes and did it right. Everyone gets properly introduced by first name. First, we have Clumsy Carp.
Maybe it was Clumsy Carp. Clumsy.
Then Thor introduces himself to the Fat Broad, and again, that name is so unoriginal.
Maybe it was the Fat Broad.
Who is that? The heck do you want?
It's me, Thor.
What are you doing, waking me up at this hour?
Well, I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
Thor then goes over to the sexist cute girl's house.
Maybe it was the cute chick.
Hi, Thor. Oh, what a lovely way to wake up. What can I do for you?
Next up is Curls? Who the fuck is Curls?
Curls. It's gotta be Curls.
What do you want with a calendar?
I need to know what day it is.
You invented this sucker. You don't even have one?
But I loaned it to someone, and I need to borrow it back to find out why the morning star is off 2.5 degrees.
You know how Alfred Hitchcock used to do cameos in his movies? Well, I guess apparently that's what BC's become, because check it out.
Hey, BC, have you seen my...
Nope.
Yeah, if you blinked, you missed him. I thought he was the main character. Isn't the comic strip named BC? I thought it was named for him, not the geological era in which they lived in. Not that this is much of a spoiler, But BC is not the focus of this special. No, the main characters are Peter and Wiley. Yeah, the guy who talks like Humphrey Bogart and the guy with the peg leg.
I see you discovered fire.
Yep, that's right. Your main characters are two people who barely had any screen time in the last special. I mean, isn't that bizarre? Let's try to get some perspective. Let's use an example of a good Christmas special to try to explain their clusterfuck storytelling. Let's use the Garfield Christmas special for this. Imagine it starts off with the song and John gets all excited about going to his family's farm. So they drive to the family farm, but once they get to the family farm, the focus is no longer on Garfield and Grandma, but on Doc Boy.
Don't call me Doc Boy.
Wouldn't that be great? The Adventures of Doc Boy. Watching him clean up horse manure and fucking milk a cow. Yes, that would truly be a Christmas special. I understand that BC is an ensemble piece and the focus isn't always on BC, but this is a Christmas special named BC. You should have your focus be on BC. All I'm looking for is a little consistency. I mean, he was the main character in the last special. Oh, and for no fucking reason, he doesn't sound like Jack Benny anymore.
The reason we're doing this is because the supermarkets are closed on Thanksgiving.
Hey, BC, have you seen my...
Nope.
The final character intro is with Peter. Oh, Peter doesn't sound like Humphrey Bogart anymore either.
Peter. That's who it was, of course. I see you discovered fire. It's about time, sweetheart.
Calendar?
Yeah, the one I gave you last year.
I don't know. What day is it?
Huh? According to my calculations, it should be the 24th.
You can stop whispering. I'm awake now.
With the character intros and the discovery of the calendar done, the show moves its focus to Peter. A random flower appears and Peter gives it to the cute girl.
Oh, what a lovely flower.
For you, my love.
Peter goes and wakes up our last character, Wiley, the guy with the peg leg.
Zooks, that makes two of us.
He expresses that he has discovered the joy of giving.
I'm serious, Wiley. It was incredible. I gave something to somebody.
Now that is incredible.
At first, I thought he discovered giving for everyone, but 2 minutes earlier, Thor mentioned that he had given Peter the calendar.
Calendar?
Yeah, the one I gave you last year.
I'd like to just clear something up. In the last special, this is the guy who knew what fire was before fire existed.
I see you discovered fire. It's about time, sweetheart.
So the guy who knew about fire before fire existed doesn't know about giving? Sure. Now would be a good time to talk about the guys who voice Peter and Wiley. They are voiced by Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding of the famed Bob and Ray team. The duo's format was to typically satirize the medium in which they were performing, such as conducting radio or television interviews with off-the-wall dialogue presented in a generally deadpan style, as though it was a serious broadcast.
Household water? Great day in the morning. Wait till I tell the kids at school I've seen some of that. Holy Moses, Mr. Science, it went clear to the bottom underneath all the liquid.
Exactly. And do you know why?
Golly, no. I never expected that to happen.
Well, just remember what we said about Archimedes' principle. You see, the rock was heavier than the water, and that's why it sank in an effort to displace its own mass and density.
Great suffering catfish.
Like the previous special and its weird voice choices such as Jack Benny and Humphrey Bogart impersonations, I'm not sure why this was chosen. I'm not really going to nag about this because it actually helps the show. The two of them have a great chemistry together. You can tell they've been working together for 50 years. I just don't understand why Bob and Ray. Were the people who made this fans of Bob and Ray? What does that have to do with cavemen? What does that have to do with BC the comic strip? I guess we'll never know. Having learned the joys of giving, Peter decides to come up with an idea to scam their friends. It's basically the commercialization of Christmas.
And you know what's most beautiful of all? There's a buck to be made here. So what's wrong with making an honest buck?
It ain't honest, it's a con.
Don't call it a con, Ace. A ploy, maybe. A trick. Not even a trick, really. It's a revelation. Think about it. How many of our friends are aware that giving is better than getting? And there you are. We'll be doing him a favor.
Wiley sits down and starts writing on a slab. Peter says,
What's that?
This? It's just a slab. I write poems on it.
Is this a Mormon reference?
You and I are out digging for clams, and we unearth a slab.
Unearth
El Slabo, an ancient stone from another age, just jam-packed full of hieroglyphics.
Oh, an old Con Ed bill. I mean, a New Testament of Jesus Christ, everyone has to sleep with me.
What?
And no dancing!
El Slabo. He doesn't know what a slab is, but he knows how to make up fictitious Spanish words.
El Slabo.
Oh, and by the way, he also created hieroglyphics.
Jam-packed full of hieroglyphics.
Just a quick side note. Why even bother creating the hieroglyphics? Until about 10 seconds ago, Peter had no knowledge of what a slab was. So it's safe to say that the others don't either. If that's the case, why not have Wiley just write it like he always does and read it to everybody, and no one would be the wiser? I think Wiley might have bipolar.
You guys, I don't like this place. Can't we go back? I'm really scared.
It's okay, Betsy. There's gotta be a clue in here somewhere.
No, not that bipolar. Bipolar for money way.
This whole thing is stupid. I want out.
We'll be rich.
I'm back in.
Peter calls Wiley manly, and he can do this.
With your command of the language, charisma, and eloquence, we can't miss. Now, stop that.
Yummy! Did the kids still say that? Anyways, that is a nice skill. Hey, I wonder if that guy from Los Barricos could do that. You know, the really hairy Chewbacca-looking guy?
Rico, weighing 235 pounds, Miguel Perez. The first time we saw him several weeks ago on Raw, he made quite an impression.
Now, this is the point where we should break and talk about what this video is about. Peter and Wiley's plan is to basically create a fake myth involving a man named
Sanitary Claus.
The whole point of this video is to talk about the ills of consumerism and Christmas. Now, given that the creator Johnny Hart wrote this, one should not be surprised that this video is very preachy in that regard. I believe he saw the success of the Peanuts Christmas special and thought, I can do that with BC. The problem is, it doesn't work. Peanuts spends about a minute of screen time being preachy and the rest of it trying to be fun. But BC the Christmas special spends about 15 minutes being preachy. I feel like, who doesn't know that Christmas was originally celebrated to commemorate the birth of Jesus? We don't need it drilled into our fucking heads.
That's it!
Didn't I say earlier that I thought that this was better than the Thanksgiving episode? I clearly was wrong. The Thanksgiving special is terrible. It's about killing a turkey and eating rocks. It has nothing to do with Thanksgiving. But at least it tried to be funny. This special is about the birth of a guy who could not even have been born yet. They could have done something really interesting here. You know, like, they could have had Santa Claus come hang out with Thor and BC, and they have to come up with a way to save Christmas from Gargamel. I mean, it would have sucked, but it would not have insulted my intelligence. So Peter and Wiley sit down and basically take a fucking hatchet to Christmas.
You know what I love about this scam?
What's that?
These poor clowns have to buy gifts and give them in the name of some character that doesn't even exist.
And every year at that.
That's right, every year. Every year, we sell X amount of gifts to the masses. We'll call it Xmas.
Wow. I want you to know I had nothing to do with that.
I really have nothing that I can possibly say about this except for, wow. Talk about somebody who hates other traditions but his own for Christmas. To be fair, he is the nutjob who thought the world was going to end in 2010, so what does he know, really? As they are laughing, Peter exclaims,
Call it Xmas.
Yeah, that's real funny considering there are people who seem to disagree with that, as there is evidence to suggest that Xmas was used by early Christians, or that X has been used as an acceptable representation for the word Christ for hundreds of years. This device is known as a Christogram. But then again, Johnny Hart thinks Jews are going to hell, so that's not surprising. Having laughed their asses off, they go through the long, boring process of creating Santa Claus. They start with...
Need a mythical beast or something for the legend. I got it. How about a green pig for Santa?
A green pig?
What's wrong with a green pig?
Well, that's for a doctor to decide.
What?
Joke.
Oh, cute.
Was that supposed to be funny? I mean, really, was that supposed to be funny? If anyone knows if this is supposed to be funny, give me a call at...
Oh, I give up.
Don't give up. Call 1-900-HOT HINTS and supercharge your game.
Cool. I can select all my favorite games.
There's hundreds of action-packed hints full of secret passwords on all the latest Nintendo games.
Hot Hints is fast, fun, and it's $1.65 a minute. Now I have the power.
Ask your parents before calling.
My piss has been pretty close to boiling for a bit, but this part just pushed it over the top.
You know, we've created a very special being here. And not a buffoon, and not a god. And he should rank with his believers, you know, somewhere between man and angel. Believable enough to reject, and unbelievable enough to accept.
I gotta pretend I didn't hear that.
Really? His believers? I mean, are you fucking kidding me? It is Santa Claus. It's not the fucking devil. I mean, are we that desperate that we need to try and vilify Santa Claus? Look, it's not Santa's fault that he stole some of Jesus' thunder. He has more to work with. Plus, he's a lot more kid-friendly. I mean, people forget the King Herod part of the Jesus story where he goes on a kill-crazy rampage and murders a bunch of babies. I mean, that's not so warm and happy. Also, no one worships Santa Claus. Nobody wakes up on Sunday or Saturday or Friday and goes, I'm going to Santa church today. Look, he's there to be a representation of the giving spirit. He's something good. Why do we always have to malign good things? Look, if you're a Christian, Jesus represents the birth of the Messiah. But if you're not a Christian, he can still represent the hopeful nature of the season. Christmas is different for everyone. Take my home, for example. We always watch Die Hard at Christmas. And the reason we watch Die Hard is because, for me, the Christmas season is about kicking the shit out of people you don't like.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's a win-win. So don't give me this bullshit about Santa being worshipped, because it doesn't happen. Okay, I guess I stand corrected. You know what? Fuck you, Johnny Hart. Hey, Grog finally made a fucking appearance. Hey. Wow, that was longer than his Thanksgiving special appearance. So everyone sits down to hear the bullshit tale. But this is where the special kind of gets heartwarming. They all start thinking about each other and what they can do for each other. You know, like the Christmas spirit. The problem is, it's in this piece of shit and it has no fucking meaning. I can't believe it took me this long to get to this point, but I want to point something out. These two idiots are trying to get rich. They're cavemen. What are they going to get rich with? Does BC have a fucking currency exchange? What are they going to get rich off of? They are trying to sell people rocks.
You know what's most beautiful of all? There's a buck to be made here.
Oh, and guess what?
What's wrong?
Nothing, just a little chill.
What do you got?
This could be the most significant moment of our lives.
Yep! Fucking Santa Claus exists. You have got to be kidding. I don't even know how this is possible. They somehow made this guy up, and he exists? After all that useless soapboxing and running down the traditions of Christmas, fucking Santa actually exists. So what was the point? I don't know, just to pad the special out, I guess? This is just a real brief side note. They show Clumsy living in a cave. Since when? The previous 2 times we saw him, he was sleeping in the river. Must be all that sand he eats. It's Christmas morning and Clumsy exclaims that Santa is real and they all got gifts. BC's is definitely the best.
Or my nifty tiddlywink set.
Again, he didn't exist before they made him up. but he really does exist. This makes so little sense that even the fucking special acknowledges it. I don't even have to make the point because Peter does it for me.
I don't understand it. We created a myth, and it came... The old rascal really crossed us up, didn't he?
Rascal?
Santa.
Well, let's say he straightened us out. We all make mistakes.
We sure do.
Do you hear that? That's Johnny Hart's message on an arrow flying in for the kill.
Message for you, son.
Peter?
Yes, Wiley?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Wiley.
Boy, he waited 22 minutes before unleashing this. But the worst is still to come. Was that the three wise men? I guess they were fucking ghosts or something. Peter wakes up and sees tracks of the Jersey Devil?
What are we gonna do?
They're trying to get to know me. Like, all of them, they're like, you know what, Snooki, you're a real cool girl. I'm like, thank you. Like, finally.
Ugly ass out of our faces.
You're going to jail.
We then get to hear a crappy xylophone version of Away in the Manger, and Peter looks up and sees the Christmas star? You know, the one that the wise men take to find Jesus. So this might be one of the most illogical scenes ever put to film. There is no easy way to explain how the three wise men just walk past Peter's cave. I guess the simplest and most likely explanation is that it's a dream. Why would Peter dream about something that hasn't even happened yet? How would he know who the three wise men are? Are camels even evolved yet? Were camels even created yet? So it makes no sense that this would be a dream. So the only other likely explanation is that it actually happened. So if we accept that this is happening, then we have to accept that BC is not so much prehistoric times, but it's current to the Jesus story. So if this is true, it would mean that BC is some isolated valley in the desert, and that the three wise men had to go through it in order to get to Bethlehem. And on top of that, how do you explain the fucking dinosaurs? Look, you can't do scenes like this and think that people aren't going to question them, okay? It's not heartwarming in any way. It makes no sense. These are characters that have no idea who Jesus would be anyways, and that doesn't even explain how Santa exists, which makes even less sense when you actually think about it, because Santa is based off of the giving spirit created by the birth of Jesus. I mean, it's just a mess. It's not me overthinking it. How the hell could anyone watch this and not think that this makes no sense? You know what? I can sum this up in 10 words. Fuck you, Johnny Hart. I am done with this special. Well, that was painful. The next time I hear someone complaining about having to watch Geely, I'm gonna be like, you want to see pain? Why don't you watch BC the First Thanksgiving and the Christmas special in one sitting?
Nice computer. Is suckmydick.com.
Where you going?
It's turkey time.
Huh?
Gobble, gobble.
Go down to Marie Callender's. Get me a big bowl. Pie, some ice cream on it. Good.
BC the First Thanksgiving and the Christmas special have got to be among the worst holiday specials ever put out. People constantly call the Star Wars Christmas special terrible. The Star Wars Christmas special is bad, but it does have bright spots. It's got the debut of Boba Fett. I mean, on top of that, it's got clips from the movie.
What is it, Mr. Lupin? I'm not sure. You saved my life. Thank you.
You are alone?
I have 2 droids. We've come in search of a ship that crashed near here.
Maybe I can help you. I am Boba Fett.
We've ordered a blockade, curfew, and started a search operation. It's just a matter of time before we find the rebels.
I want the rebels located and identified, if it means searching every household in the system.
It's also got Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill doing a really terrible singing number.
A day that takes us through the darkness, a day that leads us into light.
It's also got 2 minutes of Wookiees speaking in Wookiee with no subtitles. And then it's got that unwatchable part with B. Arthur singing. Ugh.
Just one more dance, friend. Just one more chance, friend. One more chorus, one more tune. It's not the end, friend. If you're a friend.
What was my point? Star Wars is somehow better? Okay, well, fuck that. Forget that. Did you know that these two specials were released on Laserdisc together? What a bargain! You might as well get a gun and use it as a clay pigeon. I think I found a really good use for this. If you have kids, you should use it as a punishment. Every time they do something bad, you take them and you make them sit in front of the TV and watch these two specials in a 3-hour loop until they've learned their lesson. I mean, this special is almost like a parody of Christmas. Not in a Naked Gun sort of way, but more of a 2001 A Space Travesty way. It is shockingly bad.
Oh, what did the Japanese delegation say?
Oh, you can't understand a word they say. They said, would I enjoy sushi?
And?
Well, I said, sure thing, man. Send Susie to my room.
All I have to say is that the people involved at least learned their lesson and didn't make more crappy Sunday comics into holiday specials. I mean, it's not like Mark Trail had a holiday special. Okay, let's play devil's advocate. What's the worst thing you could come up with to turn into a Christmas special? I don't know. I could imagine Ziggy having a Christmas special. That would be horrible. Oh, they made that too in 1982. Oh, come on, guys. Where are your standards? Ziggy? I'd be surprised if anybody even remembers that fucking guy. Okay, fine. All right, that exists. Whatever. Let me think here. Oh yeah. Family Circus. That has got to be the worst comic in the history of the world. Like, nobody reads that. People who watch Lawrence Welk don't even read Family Circus. There's no way that there could be a Christmas special. Are you fucking serious? Three of them? Are you serious? There's a Christmas, Easter, and Valentine's Day episode? There's 3 of them! This has to be hell. There is no other explanation than I am in hell right now. I guess Johnny Hart got his revenge. That motherfucker.
Dashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh. Over fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, singing all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Take it away, dog. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. clouds were out of sight, and everything was set up for a barnyard dance tonight. Now dashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh, with my radio on, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, singing all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride with a one-horse open sleigh.
ABC, have you seen my... Nope.